What is a graph? Well, a graph is a diagram that represents the outputs of a function on an xy plane. All functions can be represented by graphs. In the video, we will go over how to identify three types of graphs: quadratic, cubic, and absolute value. We will identify each by values in each discrete function to create an equation. Now, let's go on to the a value. The a value is first in the equation. It controls stretching and compressing of the graph, and it also controls whether the graph opens upward or downward. If the a value is positive, the graph stays the same, but if it is negative, it flips the graph across the x-axis. Now for stretching and compressing, the higher the a value, the more compressed the graph is, while the lower the a value, the more the graph is stretched. Next is the h value. The h value is very important to our process, as it is one of the main parts of the equation to easily identify on the graph. The h value will always be the exact opposite of the x value of the vertex or middle point of the graph. The h value affects horizontal translations. If h is greater than 0, then the graph is translated to the left quadrant, and if h is less than 0, then the graph is translated to the right quadrant. Lastly is the k value. The k value will always be the y value of the vertex or middle point of the graph. The k value controls vertical translations. If the k value is greater than 0, then the graph is translated upwards. And if the k value is less than 0, the graph is transferred downwards. Now, let's try to identify the vertex form of this graph. We can see that the vertex of this graph is 3, 5, so we can plug that into the equation y equal a times x minus 3 squared plus 5, because 3 is the opposite of the x-intercept of the vertex and 5 is the y value of the vertex. Now just take a point, which is not the vertex. I will take the point 0, negative 13, plug that into the equation for the x and y values, and solve for a. You should get negative 2 as an a value. This makes sense because the graph is opening downwards. Let's do a cubic function now. This graph has a middle point of negative 1, negative 3. Plug that into the equation. Now let's pick a point. I will use point 0, negative 2. Plug that in and solve for the a value. The a value you should get is 1, because there is no stretching and compressing of the graph. So the final equation you should get is y equal x plus 1 cubed minus 3. Lastly, let's do an absolute value graph. The vertex is at 5, negative 2. Plug that into the equation. Let's use point 013 to solve for a. You should have gotten 3 for the a value. So your final equation should come out to y equal 3 times the absolute value of x minus 5 minus 2. I hope you guys had fun identifying graphs with me. Thanks for watching.